Anti-Circs, brats, apartheid, and Jimmy Carter. What do they have in common? They all are liars who lie to themselves. For every study that has promoted, supported the anti-Circ position, there's an equal or greater number of studies that support circumcision. To this day, the World Health Organization, the United Nations, funds programs in 13 countries in Africa to support male circumcision as part of an overall strategy to prevent the spread of AIDS. Now, the United Nations and the World Health Organization, they're not a bunch of rabbis. In fact, they hate rabbis. They hate Jews. The United Nations is filled with Arab countries, Muslim countries, who have condemned Israel more times than they have ever made any other declarations. Those who are anti-Circs also subscribe to an anti-Jewish, anti-Israel position. This has been the experience that I've had in the last few months, and the same lack of discern that I see concerning circumcision applies to their politics and to their source of truth, their desire to find truth. I'll give you two examples. I have a person who I engage in from time to time. I don't answer him about circumcision because there's no purpose to it. As I've told you, for every series of tests that say one thing, there's another series of tests that say the other things. In fact, there are more, if you take the whole body of them, that support circumcision than do criticize circumcision. But besides that there's no way out of this argument. Besides that, the anti-Circs are anti-Israel. They believe that Israel is an apartheid state, that Israel is abusing the Palestinians. Now, just because a group of people have been defeated doesn't make them right. It's got nothing to do with victims' rights. The Palestinians, the so-called Palestinians, they're not really Palestinians. They're Tunisians, they're Moroccans, they're Syrians, they're Turks. They're a whole bunch of mutts that have come to the land of Israel during the 1880s onward in order to obtain employment. There were very, very few Arabs. You look at the histories. Look at the populations. Look at the divisions of the populations. Carter, as well as Obama, want East Jerusalem to be Arab. But what is the truth? East Jerusalem had 65% Jewish population till 1948, when the Arabs threw out the Jews. It wasn't the Jews who threw out the Arabs threw out the Jews. Yes, there are places where Jews threw out the Arabs. They had to fight to defend themselves. That's the reality. The reality of life is that the Arabs try to kill the Jewish country that was established in 1948. 6 Arab armies came in and tried to destroy Israel. And they still try to destroy Israel. The fact that they haven't been successful doesn't make them right. Yes, Israel will retaliate. But let me ask you a question. What would happen if 10,000 missiles came from Windsor onto the Detroit territory? You know what would happen? There'd be a massive mobilization, and the United States would invade Canada and occupy Canada and get rid of the government that had shot these missiles at them. And whether they'd give back Windsor or not, who knows? The United States hasn't given back the Mexican cession. The United States hasn't given back any of the acquisition it had in the 48 contiguous states or the state of Alaska, which was a big mistake by the Russians. The Russians can claim Alaska back. The truth of the matter is there's only one country in the world that is required to give back territories that it captured defending itself. Not just once, but several times. And that's the state of Israel. And we're being asked to give up territories that would be the base for further launches of attacks. How do I know this? Because that's what's happened every time that Israel has given back anything. Oh, the Egyptians. Yeah, great Egyptians. The Egyptians have done a lot. The Egyptians allow materials, arms, and all different kinds of goodies to go into Gaza to attack Israel. Oh, no, they protect, yes. There are those who may confiscate some stuff, but the stuff goes on. It goes through those tunnels unimpeded. And from those tunnels, those arms get sent directly to Sderot. They're not shooting at their Arab brothers in Sinai. They're shooting at Sderot. And occasionally when they go ahead and they fight against the secular government in Egypt, they're just doing that because they want to have an Islamic state that goes from North Africa to India, to Indonesia, my friends. That's all they want. They want a pan-Islamic state that will eventually control the whole world. And this is what the Circs are, without their knowledge, subscribing to. You know, when we freed Iraq, the Iraqis made a constitution supposed to be democratic. Only Muslims could be citizens, voting citizens, in Iraq's new government. Now wait a second. In Israel, Christians, Muslims, atheists, and Jews have the right to vote. Yes, we want Israel to be a Jewish state, but all of the people who live there as citizens are given the rights to vote. Doesn't exist in any of the Arab states. Why is Israel an apartheid state, Jiminy Cricket Carter? Why? Because you got a lot of money from the Arabs to say so. But there isn't a single Arab state in which Jews have equal rights as do Muslims. Look at what happened in Egypt with the Coptic Christians. Look what's happening continuously for the last 40, 50 years in Lebanon to the Maronite Christians of Lebanon. Think. But the problem is the Anti-Circs can't think because their brains are totally wrapped up in the foreskins of their penises.